Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Greg Tech New Horizons. This is Zypher, and we have got some demolition to start today's episode. Are you ready? Because I am. Well, that was not what I expected to happen. Well, this has done the opposite of what I wanted to do. I've just created a much bigger mess for myself. By doing this tree was way bigger than I thought. I thought IT&T would be able to handle it, and that's clearly not the case. So on to demolishing it by hand. It was worth a shot. I thought it would be a lot more fun than it really was. Instead of blowing TNT through the trunk of the tree, we're just going to place them in little pockets, because this is taking entirely too long. Yeah, these explosions are pitiful. I don't know why they're so small. Especially with like IT&T, maybe it's not made for this type of use. But I'm so tired of mining wood. One thing I will say though is it's a lot easier to do it this way. It's a lot easier to do it this way to find the wood pieces rather than chopping through a ton of leaves. But see, here's that crater that I had just made. Exposed all the wood pieces. All I gotta do is chop them. I don't have to burn through a bunch of leaves. In the grand scheme of things, it might make a lot more sense to use this rather than waste all the IT&T that I'm probably going to need for rocket parts at some point. I'll have this redwood done in no time now. And just like that, the bulk of the redwood is done and gone. All I have to do now is take out the rest of the trunk and grab these couple random sacred oak blocks, and we can begin the real start to a new base, because this thing is starting to get really ugly. This is a fun little game of log hopscotch. Well, is that everything? That looks like everything. I've finally cleared out the ugly trees. Now it's time to start to gather the materials needed to make a good base layout. We've got to go big. I'm in EV tier now. So what I'm thinking is I might just take advantage of this wide open area right here. I've got plenty of clay nearby for anything that I would need to electrolyze. I think lithium is becoming obsolete, but anyways, I think we're going to choose an area to build in. My dilemma is I don't really want to make a massive base next to this village, so I'm thinking I might have to go somewhere over here. I don't really want to be in the snow. Thinking I might try to settle right here in this little pocket. It's not too far of a travel. I've got some sand nearby. And if I need some snow for decorations, I can go over here. So I think this is going to be our new home. Let me start to gather some materials, and we'll start a layout. All right, well, here's a little start to a design concept for the base. Kind of want this little central room that's gonna kind of tower out eventually, and then have rooms that branch off that take up chunks. This is gonna be a chunk aligned base, unlike the one that I just settled on top of a mountain over there. It kind of jacked everything up. So I have two quadrants already. I'm gonna build the third and fourth, and then I'm even gonna see about building a little ring around the middle. Um, but yeah, this is what I've got so far, and I'm gonna do a little bit more building and customizing the area, and I'll come back in a little bit. Alright, now I think we're starting to get somewhere. Let me start to experiment a little bit with this ring and see what I can come up with. Yeah, I think something like that will look actually pretty nice. So I'm gonna make that modification to the other ones real quick and see how it turns out. So I've been doing some building. We've even captured a horse, it looks like. Hello, sir. Welcome to our new base. We will give you a name and everything since you have joined us so graciously. So I started building up one of these corners walls just to get an idea, kind of what we're working with here. I don't plan on doing anything too grand, but what I really want to start messing with first is how I'm going to cover these walkways. So I'm going to test out some glass here. So I know it's not evenly filled in, but I'm really curious which one of these I think would look best, or anybody. I'm kind of going for this really lime colored one. I like the way that looks. I think that adds a nice accent without looking too glassy. Yeah, I think I might go with this one here. So I actually think this looks pretty freaking cool. Now that I've got more than a quarter of it done. So I'm just gonna finish it up and then see what it looks like completely done. After I do that, I kind of just really need to figure out what to do with the center and the corners for roofing. Um, I might put something temporary in for now so I can at least start to move some of the processes over. I'm pretty sure this room is going to be power gen, um, to be continued. Alright, I've been a little busy. I got the ring constructed, which I think actually looks really, really cool. I thought it was going to, and it did. It turned out really well. I started with a little concept for a roof. I know this looks really simple compared to some other people's building skills. It is what it is. This is just serving the purpose of not catching things on fire, and I have a feeling this base is going to be expanded in the long run anyways, so it's going to undergo lots of innovation. I also added these obsidian snake tiles. I think they added a nice, cool little touch. I don't think that's supposed to happen. That was an interesting glitch. Well, in the middle of doing all this, I keep having to come recharge my jetpack, so I think it is now appropriate time to upgrade this from an LV into an HV, Advanced Electric Jetpack. I think I've got enough built over at our new location now to where I can start moving some crucial equipment. So we're going to start with our distillation tower that distills our heavy oil down into its 4 different byproducts. Okay, now that all of his hatches are empty except sulfuric heavy fuel because I just have way too much of it, we can take him with us. What a glorious looking mess. And as you can see, I've already kind of started to mark out where some equipment is going to go. Right here is our distillation tower for the oil. I'll go ahead and place this down. Now the key here is to placing each of the hatches and whatnot in the exact spot that I'm going to want it in, which can be a little bit tricky. Alright, so I've got to play this part pretty smart. I could always move the hatches around if it doesn't work in my favor, but I want to try to make this work so that I don't have to change it in the future, or near future, that is. Well, there's our full distillation tower. Um, Kind of going to leave this block right here a secret. It's not something that I have built yet, but something that is to come. And then I think these here are going to be for large chemical reactors. The first one obviously being desulfurizing. So now comes the fun of all the hatches for the chemical reactor. I have no idea how I want to do this. This could be potentially extremely complicated. I'm kind of digging the way this looks. Let me continue to set up these different individual fluid conduits. Alright, I almost have this beast complete. It looks like a way bigger block than just a large chemical reactor, but let me go grab a couple more hatches and we'll see if we can't fire it up and test it out some. Finally, this beast of a machine has formed. It doesn't look nearly as crazy now. I just need to attach some final tubing and then we can see just how well this works. Alright, all the channels are set up. We've got white for heavy fuel, yellow for light fuel, brown for regular fuel. Okay, I think we might be ready to finally start this up. I'm really scared to see how well this works, so I'm going to do a backup first, just in case I jack something up. I have no idea which recipe this is even going to try to run first, but let's see. Nothing. Oh, there's just everything wrong with it. That might be why. Oh, it even has incomplete structure on. I must have done something wrong here. Let me take a look and see what I've possibly screwed up. There's literally tape on the maintenance hatch. I don't understand why it still says all these problems are here. This might take some troubleshooting. Alright, I've got good news. I figured out what the issue was. You have to have at least 8 casings, so I'm going to have to make mixing the fuel and cetane boosted in an LCR over here. That's okay though, because I had already planned on adding a second LCR here, so we'll just go ahead and get to it. I really want to test this one out though now that it's apparently fine and make sure that everything goes to where it's supposed to. Alright, we're getting heavy fuel for sure. Probably gonna bust down. My assumption is all of that instead of splitting the cost. No, it looks like it's doing a little bit of everything. There's the refinery gas going up. There's naphtha going up. Great, that's everything that I needed to start increasing is increasing. I do not have any light fuel at the moment. We have to get this distillation tower kick started. But I kind of feel like I'm just going to let this large chemical reactor run and get us a good amount of some of these byproducts. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and set this one up, and hopefully I don't run into any problems like I did with the main one. Well, I've got good news, and that's the fact that we are now producing cetane boosted diesel, almost fully automatic. A couple hours and a third large chemical reactor later, we have a bunch of spaghetti here. This first one is simply desulfurizing all the different byproducts from oil. It is then sending its light fuel and heavy fuel into buffer tanks and then to be processed into fuel in this chemical reactor. The fuel is then buffered and then sent into an input hatch, which then converts it into cetane boosted diesel. An under fluid conduit connected to a little tiny network runs all the way under here and deposits each one of these things into its respective super tank. Now, in order to get tetranitromethane, yeah, I do say it right. Okay. In order to get that into this large chemical reactor, we had to make a third, and this bad boy is simply shooting its tetranitromethane out into this super tank buffer, and it is accepting sulfuric acid, which also happens to be processed in here. We have a hydrogen sulfide super tank up top, which eventually, once it catches up on its fuel, it will indeed make sulfuric acid. The sulfuric acid, like I said, is sent into this chemical reactor, which will combine with acetic acid, and that will make ethanone, which is buffered in this super tank, and then sent into an input hatch and combined with nitric acid to make the tetra. For nitric acid, we have oxygen being pumped into the top, and For now, I have placed the ammonia super tank next to it. All that really needs to be done to fully automate this process is to add a super tank buffer here for the acetic acid, and then all of the distillation tower and its byproducts from fermented biomass. Most likely we'll have to be put in this building and piped over into our little hallway. That's another thing, if you didn't already notice, I did have to expand as I didn't have enough room already. I think I might even take this wall out eventually, maybe soon, maybe later, I'm not too sure. But one of the hardest parts is now complete. I have a majority of our power generation rejigged in the new base. Just need to start moving some more stuff over. As I run into bottlenecks, I'm sure is when I'll move more things. But next up on the list is the distillation tower and the crop farm for fermented biomass. Well, our crop farm has now been relocated, as well as some other machinery. Inside our second corner room, we now have the fermented distillation tower, pyrolysis oven, and our way of producing biochaff. Just have some sugarcane being sent over from the crop farm in the same setup that we had in the old base, and I have some transfer pipes that is sending the biochaff into its input bus. Once the biochaff is sent into fermented biomass, it's put in this super tank buffer and then pumped over into the distillation tower, and that's where the real fun began. I decided to switch to ender fluid conduits now that I can easily make them, and I have all of its fuels sorted, I think, the way it needs to be. All that remains is to connect this ender fluid conduit together, which has its other two byproducts, both ammonia and acetic acid buffers over here, as it's used in this chemical reactor. Now with that connected, I can close the floor. And now leaves us at our next biggest issue, power. I have the fuels over here. As seen earlier in this episode, I have both some refinery gas and cetane boosted diesel, and naphtha. I have just every type of fuel. So all I need to do is figure out how I want to generate power to power all these machines, because I kind of want to do away with these little combustion engines. Cause way too much pollution, and there's just more efficient ways of gathering power. So I was doing a little bit of looking in our how to generate power tab, and we could do two things, or I could do two things. I want to do one of two things. I have the gas turbine I could do, or the combustion engine. The combustion engine I'm really not looking forward to, as it requires an absurd amount of titanium, and I don't have an efficient titanium process yet. Therefore, I think we're going to go with this large gas turbine. It appears it's only stainless steel, a couple EV chips, an EV hull, some blue steel, and some magnesium. I don't think this will be too bad to make. I just need to read up a little bit on it, as there's turbines involved and all types of things that I haven't played with before. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and craft up some of these parts, and I'll come back when we start to figure out where it's going to be placed. So I knew there would be a hiccup somewhere, and trying to make an EV Dynamo hatch is just simply not going to happen at the moment. So we're going to have to do a little bit of sub-processing in order to get some tungsten steel. After looking in the quest book a little bit, I've found a little side quest over here, Pulverize the Planet, talking about grinding down some moonstone or endstone and centrifuging it to get tungstate. So I'm going to go ahead and start on this little line right here. Have some moon rocks being ground down. What I need to do next is make this EV autoclave. Here's an EV autoclave. Luckily, I already have a little setup over here with an EV combustion generator that I'm going to utilize. Tungstate processing step 1. We need 14 tungstate just to even begin. So I'm going to work on gathering that, and I'll come back when we kind of get a little bit more involved in this process. I've literally been managing these moon rock dust and whatnot for over an hour now, and I've only gotten 4 tungstate. I'm gonna have to find another solution to getting tungstate until I get to Mars, and if you're wise, you can see a hint on the screen already. No, it's not what I'm circling. Well, you guessed it, we're on the quest to find a stronghold, so I'm just out exploring, following the ways of the Eye of the Ender. Oh, looks like we might have found it. I'm gonna dig down right here and see what's up. If that's the case, I hardly had to use any of these, which is wonderful. Boom. I think we found it. What are the chances I've wanted to glow flowers so bad to be able to plant with crops? That is awesome. One thing I'm slacking on here is some lighting to get us through this crazy maze. So let me go grab some torches. Oh, seeing my base, my new base from afar is so cool. And then there's old base. God only knows how long it's going to take me to move all this stuff, but I know it's definitely not happening all this episode. Just out of curiosity, can I actually plant this on the... Oh my god, that is so wonderful. I found a glow flower. I must be headed in the right direction if I found that in there. Let's go back. Alright, we're back. Let's see what we can find in here. Oh, there's some emeralds. I got scared from the beam. I think I'm going to go this way first, because there's an extremely dark room right around the corner. Yeah, this looks a little promising. Oh boy. Oh, where'd you come from? Scared me. And I think I'm going to be able to fight the Ender Dragon. That's hilarious. But that's what backups are for. Oh, we got a gravity creeper. Gravity creeper inbound. Whew, that was close. This little baby Enderman. You showing me where your home is? Keep going this way. Gotcha. Oh my god, there's more. I guess lava burnt this place down. Oblivion frames. Those sound like they're pretty useful. What the hell are you? A peck stalk. Okay, somewhere has got to lead to more stronghold. We found some more. Now, if only it would lead us to the damn portal room. I have no idea what that is either, but we'll take it. Okay, I found this new section, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna lead to the yes. Haha, just kidding. I already came in here and broke the spawner. I did finally find this thing. I found a room in the map on Journey Map that I hadn't been to yet, and just walked over and started exploring some more, and here we are. So let's go ahead and activate this bad boy. One more, but I want to throw some things away real quick. I'm just going to heal up. I'm going to make a waypoint actually in this room so that I can get back here way easier. The end portal has been constructed. I'm really terrified to go here because I know the Ender Dragon has been buffed, but that's why I did a backup. We're going to try, and if we fail, we know we need to strengthen up before we come again. So, here goes nothing. I'm really terrified to do this. I'm not even gonna lie. Here we are. Let's hope we don't immediately die. I know this woman does a lot of damage. think that might be almost all of them. Haven't been hit yet. I've got some really good aim, apparently. Where are you at? There you are. We do some damage, not a whole lot, but we can do some. I'd be able to dodge her attacks a lot better if I wasn't on hover mode, but it also makes it really hard to shoot. Oh wow, I'm not doing like hardly any damage anymore. How's she regenerating? No. No. Oh, that's how. All these little bats, man. Yeah, we're getting pretty low on health now. See if we can regenerate at least a little bit. Let me get a little bit more health. No. Oh no. I should probably just try to kill her, but I don't know where she went. You stay away from me. Almost dead. Almost dead. I need you to kind of die overland though. There she is. I actually killed her. I didn't think that was going to be possible. What is that? Ooh. Man, that was a lot of effort. I'm not even going to front. I hope she just summoned these and they're just not always here. 104 levels and still rising. Is this Endergoo? No, it's Dragon Essence. Yeah, I'd kind of like to collect all of this. Just don't look at the Enderman, whatever you do. Anyways, let me collect some stuff, grab some endstone. We can come back here unharmed from now on. So, look at all the spouts of Endergoo. It looks so cool. Oh my goodness. That's a bunch over there. And I think while we're here, we might as well try to grab a regenerating. Fiery regen. The first one that I came across. That's weird. That's really weird. The end. Well, I think that's a good time to wrap up the episode after killing that massive dragon. Thank you guys for watching, tuning in. This is a little sneak peek behind me about what is to come next episode. Going to be setting up this ore processing room and a bunch more. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you liked it. This was a little bit longer of an episode because I have been slacking. See you guys.